Alright, guys, here is DrPuppet, also known as Alex Weber, with a guest actually. And today we're gonna analyze a beautiful game of Team Impulse and Team Liquid. For this, I have my fellow companion and analyst, CD Mangaka, also known as Colin. Colin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fairly well. Pretty excited to look at this series of TiP versus Team Liquid. I actually didn't get a chance to watch it, so getting to look back on it now and seeing how things played out and how the Forever Fourth curse was broken is going to be pretty exciting for me. So glad to
Yeah,
be on board, Alex.
so I think we should already start the video, so we can talk a little bit. Colin, a lot of people couldn't know who you are or know who you are. Before I hear the picks and bans starts, would you like to tell who you are first? And I'm gonna stop right there so you can say a few words to yourself first.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, if you're coming onto this from Dr. Puppet's channel, I am actually uh, a bit of a coworker with Alex now. I am working on one of the teams that he's managing, I've been told. I'm actually an analyst for that, Triforce Gaming. So this has been for roughly like a week or so. So it's going well, enjoying it. But my background, though, is I am a Gold Pretend writer, a Liquid Legends.net writer. In fact, if you've ever read the piece on Juggernaut Kog'Maw by Team Liquid, I'm the one who wrote that piece. It did really well on Reddit. I was really happy with how it performed. And I have also just been picked up recently by esportgo.com. So I'm writing for a couple different sites. I primarily focus on gameplay within League of Legends, so namely analytics. I've been doing that for about 5, coming up on 6 months, I want to say. But I've been watching the competitive league scene, at least in NA, for 3 years, and then Korean scene diligently for this last season. So that's a bit of my background. I do run my own YouTube channel as well and a Twitter. If you look up CD Mangaka for either of those, you'll find me. Again, I usually focus on analytical or how-to content. So pleasure to be working here with Alex today, and I get happy to show off what I can do. So that's my introduction.
Yeah, alright, so thanks for having you, of course, here. And it's actually late at my place, so it will be an awesome game series and a recording series, like late night. League of Legends, like we're gamers, so that's fine. But I don't know. You didn't say if you're recording for this for your channel as well. Shall I introduce myself as well?
No, I think it's fairly fine, so I'm not too worried.
All right. So let's start then, because we're going into the picks and bans. So Team Impulse, you should remember this is game 5. So we have here the bans coming up for Team Impulse and Team Liquid. Team Impulse already banned Sion and Maokai, while Team Liquid banned Orianna. So let's see, and they banned the Gragas. So it's pretty obvious what Team Impulse is target banning Quas, while Team Liquid is trying to take one of Rush's best champions, and it's Gragas. Well, of course, as well, taking the Orianna away from Xiao, that will have any great impact as well. So before we look at what they are picking, let's talk a bit about the bans, because I think for Game 5 series we should remember, wait, I'm just gonna click on the magical place called the internet, and let's look what they banned in the games before, because it's definitely something we should remind before we talk about the last game. What did they ban before? Team Impulse Focus banned Maokai and Urgot in the first game, which is very interesting because they did the same in the last game. What did they do after this? Well, the Urgot was banned all series by them, but they changed and swapped the 2 top lane bans for Rommel and Sejuani, and one time Hecarim and Gragas. So what do you think about that? About this focused target banning, Colin?
I don't think that it's necessarily smart to really target Quas's pool, just because if anything that he's tried to display throughout this season, he can play any champion in the top lane, so it doesn't really make sense to go about banning some of the as many top laners as we see against Quas. The Maokai is a fine ban. It's one of his favorite champions, and Maokai is incredibly strong within the current meta. The Scion, I feel like you can let it get away with. I would personally have swapped out for a Lulu ban just to deny Team Liquid the Juggernaut composition, which they've have run a couple of times during the course of the playoffs, sometimes to less success than others. But even then, if I can't recall if Team Impulse played with the Juggernaut or with Lulu at all. So I would almost prefer to see a Lulu ban coming in here if they're worried about the Juggernaut composition. Although they usually pick heavy engaged champions anyway, so I can understand why they're not really concerned with it. And in fact, in this last game, we'll see Quas come about here. I do agree with also banning Hecarim on red side. The first two games of the series, Hecarim was always banned on red side, and then in games 3 and 4, he was picked, and he actually lost in both games he was picked. And I feel like that might have had something to do with the team saying, okay, we didn't get a win with Hecarim, so we're not going to play him anymore. And that's why he gets ignored in this last game, even though Hecarim's a pretty powerful champion. And one ban that I didn't see at all was the Shyvana ban. TiP played with the Shyvana Smite top lane, I want to say in game 3 when Quas got his hands on Hecarim.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I don't know how well it did.
They lost the game, but still they banned the Gragas away after this, right?
Yeah,
no, they picked it first and then they banned it out. So I think a lot more to the Shyvana pick itself. It was a lot about the Gragas play. So I think there will be some coincidence. Like I wouldn't really blame it because Gragas, in my opinion, the best jungler right now with Nunu. Simply because of the skirmishes and Cinderhawk engagement plus the hard engage and disengage. As well, I think the other ones like Rumble will be to avoid team fights. I don't know how good impacts Rumble is
I
itself.
think it's okay. My brain tells me it's good, but at the same time, don't quote me on that.
Yeah. But well, the Orianna is simply the same, and also easy chamber for Shao to farm. So it's very obvious that why they are banning it.
Yeah. All right. So
let's
time.
So first pick Sejuani. I think we don't need to say anything about this.
No, she's a good jungler. I can't recall if Rush was exactly a big Sejuani player coming in. I know that his Lee Sin hasn't performed well in the playoffs, so him picking up Sejuani, denying Dominate that pick, is okay. This is where I would have liked to have seen TiP target Dominate a little more, force him onto one of the weaker junglers, because Dominate actually comes up as MVP in this series, and Dominate is a huge part of Team Liquid's success. So I would have preferred to see the Scion ban against Quas drop, because he's going to play whatever champion that he wants to, regardless of what you ban against him. So instead, what Team Impulse could have done instead, drop the Scion ban out Nunu, because Rush's Nunu is not good. We've seen that time and time again, especially against the TSM series. He was flash autoing, trying to make plays on Nunu that you would expect on a Lee Sin.
Okay, wait.
Then first pick the Sejuani.
I have something to say about this. It was a lot, in fact, as we discussed before we started the video, about the picks they played with Nunu. We should keep that in mind.
Yeah. So and again, Team Liquid is a very ADC centric comp. So I feel like banning Nunu against Team Liquid is always a good idea, because Dominate's play on Nunu is always really good, and his play with the team is always pretty impactful as well. So if TiP had banned Nunu instead of Scion and first picked Sejuani while Gragas was banned, Dominate would be forced to go on to champions, probably Rek'Sai, which she isn't as strong. Actually. Rek'Sai or Vi. It would be one of those two. I think Dominate's more of a Rek'Sai player. I always see him gravitate to Rek'Sai before Vi. And that would force him onto one of the weaker caliber junglers while securing a stronger one for yourself. So that would have been a smarter approach from Impulse coming into this game.
Okay, wait. We're gonna do a break here because this is interesting. So, at this point in time, we don't know where the Karki is going, right?
Right, yeah. He's a flex pick at this point.
He's a flex pick at this point. He doesn't have that great synergy with Nunu, so we could still think it's probably a mid Karki. But still, we don't know. We can still flex around. Right. What does Team Impulse do that? I don't know why they pick List at this point. I would secure a mid champion first in this place, because they are now giving away um to force maybe Corki or maybe pick anything lane bully like to play against the Corki pick or any other possible AD carry pick that they could pick into this flex pick. The thing is now Team Liquid can really assume Team Impulse will be going for the lane swap since they pick Gnar and Kalista, which one Corki excels as well, really good at sieging the turrets quite fast because he can clear the wave really quickly with the Q, the phosphorus bomb. And the thing is about that, they can still pick a late game hyper carry that can also get a lot of farm to the lane swap because Team Impulse just gave away what they will be trying to do, right? So let's see how it goes on, because I think Team Impulse could have waited with the Kalista pick. They could have picked support. They could have picked mid lane.
Yeah, well, I think that they were holding off on mid lane just to see where the Corki was going and give Xiao more of a favorable matchup, seeing if Team Liquid busted out anything different or new. And at this point in the series, though, Team Liquid actually in this game could have played with a Juggernaut composition. Kog'Maw is open, and again, Team Impulse did leave the Lulu up. And you have to consider that at this point. But Team Impulse locking in a lot of engage is also really good. I personally would have seen... would have liked to seen the Kalista Kennen combo, which is a powerful laning combo because it gets rid of Kennen's engage weaknesses. TSM, for example, in the finals against Cloud9 put it to very good use, and that would have really put Kalista. That would really fill out the team. You already have this massive gauge from Sejuani, and then you can have the Kennen go on in and provide additional CC, and then you have Gnar in there. You could have had this amazing wombo combo team fight, and then right here, I feel like they grab. They don't lock it in yet, but I'll tell you that they just do this. They get Ziggs for Xiao, and they lock in this Janna. So they grab the Janna to give Ziggs some peel in the late game. I think that was a pretty big mistake on their part because you could be facing up against a Juggernaut composition at this point. You have to remember, Kog'Maw is still open. They have Lulu and Nunu, and they have a Corki who they can flex pick.
Don't forget it. They have also an Outlaw, so they have 2 tanks and support.
Yeah,
they need.
Team Liquid could run a Juggernaut right here. The last thing that you want to do is pick a composition that is trying to scale, because then the Juggernaut is going to roll all over you. They don't have any poke except for Ziggs coming out of this to deal with the Kog'Maw. They have a lot of catch potential. Instead of the Janna pickup, just because you're playing against Team Liquid could play a Juggernaut, I would have preferred to see Kennen support. So then you just have all this massive engage, and then I'm trying to think of another mid laner that could have worked in this scenario. You could have done Vlad, just for the sustained damage. He'd been a pretty safe mid laner for Xiao to lane on. If you're worried about Xiao having a harder lane matchup or wanting him to be safe, Vlad would have been a really good pick in this series, actually, in this game. Plenty of sustained damage, enough lockdown for his team so that he would be able to come on in and apply Hemoplague to multiple targets.
To be honest, what I would have liked more would be an assassin mid. Simply because if you look at the picks, they have a really good power spike at mid game for Team Liquid, but you have no threat at Team Impulse for the mid game. Who will be a threat? Yeah, maybe the Gnar and the Sejuani ults, but Ziggs can shoot out his bombs, but he can only defend the siege. But you can really seem as a direct threat. You don't have any split push presence, which the Lulu will of course be doing, because we know that it will be a top lane Lulu. It will be now the support. We all know that they will try to force rotations and a lot of Drake control. And what will it do with the Ziggs? You don't have any control in the mid lane or force the enemy to keep sieging. You can defend your turrets very well, but from what? They won't be going for the turrets because of the Nunu pick. They will be going for the Drakes, at least for the first 15 minutes of the game. And
then they'll transition into turrets with the Corki power spike. And honestly, Team Impulse's composition doesn't have a lot of wave clear until Kalista builds up a Rune Answer Hurricane. And if they were concerned about that, Vlad's wave clear early on is also kind of meh. It scales a little better. I think TiP could have played at Karthus for wave clear. I think they could have played a Xerath possibly, especially against the composition that Team Liquid has. I think those would have all been fairly good picks as well. I just don't agree with like the Ziggs pick at all.
The sixth pick is still fine, but
So there's
in
better.
certain sure there are better,
Mhm.
but it's fine. The thing
Mhm.
is, I don't understand the Jenna at all. Why should you play Jenna against a comp with no engage? Like literally, if you count the Nautilus hook, ultimate, and hook as an engage, that's all they have. They
Pretty
don't.
much.
They have poke and siege. They can siege if they group up, sure,
Mhm.
but it will be on the later stages of the game. Like, um, I would say depending on what they pick now, like as a mid laner or AD carry, which is still open, they could adjust that if they want more siege or more poke or better late game, because they have everything that can bring them to the late game. They have the two tanks they need, they have the Nuno they need. If they want to go for an ATIC damage based AD carry, which they should, they have the Lulu to ramp it up, and they have the full tank Nautilus coming up. So the thing is, what does TiP has for an answer for that hyper carry? Team fights. That's all. But they don't have the AP damage burst that they need to burst down the threats. Like they don't have any threat for the AD carries in this comp.
Mm. Yeah. So and LeBlanc's actually open as well. That could be another possibility for Shadow to play.
Yeah.
So that would have been a really good one, especially like daring Team Liquid to go in for a Juggernaut. But maybe they were worried about that and like thought that they could assassinate it. But the thing with against the Juggernaut comp is that you basically need to have that all in so you can just go for those huge picks. Either when Lulu is separated trying to farm by herself or Kog'Maw separated trying to farm by himself. I don't think there's a lot of split push pressure coming from Team Liquid just because if you are going to run a Juggernaut comp, Lulu has to be with the Kog'Maw and with the Corki there as well. You're basically just committing to all group into tower sieges after you spend the early game focusing on the drinks with the Nunu. So, anyways, last pick coming in here from Team Liquid's side. It's actually not going to be Kog'Maw. Strangely enough, it's going to be
Don't
one of
spoiler
Picklets.
us. Come on,
Spoilers.
please.
Do it. Yeah. Piglet's gonna take his Lucian pick. He's really good on that champion. Maybe he was worried about being harassed too heavily in lane up against let's see.
Well,
If he
so
was pick Kog'Maw, maybe he's worried about laning against Kalista Janna. So picking the Lucian with Nautilus is just a stronger lane up against Janna just because she doesn't have a lot of ability to disengage those fights early on.
yeah. Ah,
And then Lucian scales fairly well. He has pretty good synergy with Lulu, with Nunu. So, I mean, he's a pretty good pick. You could have done the Kog'Maw here, but I think Lucian's all right.
no, I think so too. You have good lanes in mid lane and AD carry. Lucian scales pretty well, and you have the auto attack synergy with Nunu, so we can't really blame them. And of
No.
course they have a bit more power to the siege or let's
Mm.
say wave clear potential. Like they have a really solid wave clear now, and you
Mm.
can since they have two mobile carries, they don't have to worry a lot about peeling for them. Like they have the peel they need, but they also can kite really well. So they are really going for longer team
It's
fights and avoiding the hard engage
yeah,
from Sejuani. So that's extremely
mm,
great. They are working around the picks
yeah,
of adapting. I
yeah,
would say
mm,
adapting more to the team impulse
mm,
picks as team impulse should have done towards team liquid picks.
mhm.
So
Yeah. No, I agree. The safer AD carries makes Team Liquid's comp a lot easier to play with, especially against all the engage coming out of TiP's composition. So I think, yeah, I think the Lucian's a good pickup and a smart adaptation to the bang phase. So
yeah, very clever play. So
level one
what
time.
should we look for here? So the thing is, Impulse needs to go for the lane swap.
Yep.
You don't want to lane as a Kalista Janna against a Lucian Nautilus. Well,
Nope.
in my opinion, as a support main, I don't think Nautilus is good at the laning phase. I think he's excels really well at the roams
Hmm.
early game.
His drums are really good.
Yeah, he roams extremely well. He adapts very well to the situations, and since he's such a versatile jungler, I say this for a reason, because
Yeah,
if
he
you
was
watch
used to be.
Elimination play Nautilus, he just invades solo with his E-spell scaled level up, and you can really blame him because he's topping the enemy jungle clear for a lot of time. And in this case, Nautilus's pick is a very, very good pick at the early game at professional level. So adapting to that, you still want to force as Team Liquid the 2v2 scenario. You know they will lane swap, so they didn't even set up the wards. If you are seen here on the map, we can
Yeah,
take a look.
they get some fairly defensive wards, actually.
Yeah.
Team Liquid's vision, if you look, is concentrated along the riverbed. They're kind of watching the invades from TiP because they know they want that deeper information. But as you can see by the grouping of the 80 carries already, Team Liquid basically calls a lane swap. I don't know if they got any vision on who roamed around about to get vision. I think there's one deep ward and their blue side jungle from TiP. And they also TiP gets some defensive wards. You can see that they have their bottom tri-bush, the top lane brush, and the bottom lane brush all warded to kind of see where they're going. I think that TiP could have done a better job of getting deeper wards to see Team Liquid calling the swap. But Team Liquid read it very well, just kind of knowing how the matchup is going to go, and they're already grouped top side, and they're going to start off by taking Krugs.
Actually, I think they are fine, because normally you are trying to go for the early push if you pick the piglets Lucian pick here. I think the bottom lane ward is fine, but I don't know why the tri-bush or the mid lane ward. And if you look, they literally have no vision on top side except for that ward up there.
Yeah.
But why should you ward that if you know they will know because you picked Kalista, you were going for the lane swap? I don't understand that because they don't have any clue what Team Liquid will do now. The bot lane one is fine because if they indeed didn't adapt to the lane swap and would go for the fast push, they would be already there, be ready for the push, like in the next 2-3 seconds. So it would be time enough for TiP to recall and come into lane, losing maybe 1 to 3 CS. So that wouldn't be too bad if you can avoid a bad matchup. So let's just go on talk. So what do you think is Team Liquid's plan from now on? I mean, TiP's plan is pretty obvious. They will try to get Kalista as much farm as they can. They won't be able to avoid the 2v2 matchup. So what do you think?
Team Liquid's plan, let's see. Since their bottom lane is opting in, that's actually a good read by TiP to check the Krugs to see if Team Liquid was going to call lane swap, so then they wouldn't get the level 2 advantage. So that's a really smart play by TiP. This trading, holy moly. Right out of the gate, Phoenix trying to establish his dominance. And he went for the flash pickup too, so actually him trading this hard is really good for him because Xiao only has 2 health pots, so if you can force him out of lane early on, get this early level 2, he can really be a lane bully with this Corki. Team Liquid's plan, as I was getting back to, is to focus on keeping the lanes farming, maybe try and make a play around Dragon side. Nunu can solo Dragon early on just because he has so much sustain and damage from the consume on his kit. However, their bottom lane is top side, so they don't have that support over there. So they're going to be looking to establish control over there to keep the Kalista down. As you can already see, she's down 7 CS in this lane. So if you can keep her suppressed through this laning phase with the Lucian Nautilus combo and play off of that, then that's where you can establish your big lead. Lulu against Gnar is going to be okay. Lulu is a ranged champion, should be able to harass Gnar fairly well.
So that's
fairly good hook.
Great trades, but
fairly exhaust. But then what happens here is that, let's see. So Kalista's actually started off with her W, and Rush is already topside. So he beat Dominate up to topside, and Dominate's trying to play around the race. So they see Dominate coming in here, and they're going to leave a ward and back off. Meanwhile, Xiao trying to trade against Phoenix in the mid lane. Not looking too good. But Team Janna's slow. I think they hit level 2. No, they were still level 1.
Oh, and the flash from Xiao.
Yep.
So that was actually a pretty good play by Team Liquid, getting the pressure all over the Tuzul. Actually, I will say the top and mid lane.
Yeah, it's because here's the thing. So Rush is now forced to focus top side. This is what you're referring to with the pressure. Dominate now is able to come on in. Their mid laner is backed, and their top lane's pushed in, so he has no help. So Nunu's able to come over here, freely farm Russia's side of the jungle in top side, and with all the pressure coming out, Team Liquid's developing all the advantages like they should. The trade fairly leveled up in top side. Kalista actually has a lot of damage at level 1 if you take her W, because it is a like 12% maximum health shred as long as the John and the Kalista both auto attack it. So that's why we see Kalista with a health advantage in this lane despite Lucian's early advantage. So
still they are actually 2 waves in CS up if you compare.
Yep, but yeah, Team Liquid still has a CS lead in top side. There's no summoner spells at all in mid lane, actually, while Phoenix still has both of his. So while Nunu won't be able to really get in a whole lot of ganks against Ziggs just because Ziggs does have an escape and Corki and him don't have any hard CC at all, this at least forces Rush to kind of hover around mid side and let Piglet and X Special exert their pressure top side, while Quas and Impact just enjoy a farming game in bot side. So Team Liquid is playing their game plan really well. Corki's doing his lane bully things. And once again, Corki's pushing in the mid lane. Rush is forced to stay top side, and now Dominate can just start up this dragon. Yeah. But it looks like Xiao.
Which is very interesting. If as we talked about the Ziggs pick, it seems that it doesn't work actually at all. It's a Corki pick. And I mean, even it's not that bad of a pick, but you can sustain yourself 1v1 in the lane, as you just were able to, you were able to watch, because you don't have the threats as a Ziggs. Like the Corki just pulled it out, took the summon spells, forced him back, simply because he had the mana of it and the damage from the Q. So the thing is, you get so much for free, and I still don't understand why they picked the Ziggs into the Corki. And I think you agree with me on that point, because you said something similar. This already cost them a lot in the early game. It cost the first Drake, and it was like already just for free because they had no pressure in the mid and the top lane, because they have the better lane matchups for Team Liquid. So everything is going fine for Team Liquid, and it will be going for the next 2 to 4 minutes if they don't misplay anything, simply because of the matchups. And it doesn't seem that Team Impulse is adapting well, because what they could have done is try to get top lane pushing a bit earlier than they are doing now, because Impact is winning the lane, I would say, in terms of pushing, and Quas just backed, so it would be the perfect scenario. They could lane swap back, so they have Drake pressure for the next one.
And especially, so you're already in a losing matchup in the top lane side with the Kalista Janna versus the Nautilus Lucian. So I agree with you. They could have instead first had Impact push in his wave to Lulu's tower, and then rotate over, maybe gotten some vision down on Dragon just to see if Nunu was going to do it. And I mean, it's Nunu. It's Dominate on Nunu. He always goes for those early dragons, so they should have had preparation for that. And then, the only issue, though, for getting the swap in perfectly would be having Apollo and Adrian be able to back in lane. They wouldn't be able to push the lane as fast as Lucian can, just because Callista's wave clear is pretty terrible, and John doesn't do anything to help it. So they weren't able to like pull off a clean switch. The way that they have to do it is basically Gnar would have to push his tower back, get his items, teleport into top side, go through the lane that way, help push it off, and then the Kalista and Janna would have to back. But if they're not ready to back before they get the BF sword, then what you would be doing is putting yourself in a situation where, okay, we just backed, Kalista would have enough money to probably buy a pickaxe in that scenario, go to bottom lane side, okay, we got out of the 2v2, but then Team Liquid would just be able to push out the top lane, Lucian would be able to back, get a BF sword, and then just swap into the bottom lane. So that's the problem with trying to pull off the swap in this scenario. So the way to get around that would probably have Rush go topside, get a gank there. Like, you already have to forfeit the dragon. Nunu is going to get the early dragon. So if you can just get a gank topside, force the Lucian back, force the Nautilus back, maybe claim a few summoner spells, get the lane pushed out, and then execute the swap, so then Piglet's forced to back and also buy the pickaxe, then it would be a much better scenario for TiP.
Yeah, sure.
That's
if you just watch right now, the top lane backed, and Dominate just got a free red buff because they again had no pressure at all. And the thing is, as you just mentioned, if they would have did the swap, they would have the pressure they need. Like, they're not using at all the rotations as of way to get around the good early game matchups. Like, they're not doing rotations at all. If you just watch, they are going back into lane as it would be solo queue. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
And
never mind.
then
I'm going
Rush
for the
is
matchup.
going bottom
Well,
side.
I don't think that's a
Okay.
bad idea because I think they
Yeah.
can get the kill. But I don't know why they are going for it now. Yeah, and he showed himself. GG, well played.
And yeah, and then look at this miscommunication. Impact he just goes all in. Like he jumped in, he used his ultimate, and then Rush didn't do anything.
The thing is, I don't know if I can't say if it was a communication error or simply Impact. Okay, we can do anything. I'll just spam out my ultimate before I lose my passive. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can just wait. Like, if you just wait for the time for it to come back up, then you can have that. I mean, it'll be back up by the time Dragon comes up, so I think it's okay. But it just seemed like they were gonna go for the dive and then Rush backed out of it while Impact still went in. So,
It
because
was
again, you made the
strange.
remark.
It was
So
definitely strange.
yeah, well, I think Sejuani ult could have reached right there. So,
Oh.
anyways, so here we go.
Oh,
Here it
that
goes.
was
Good
great
Sejuani
ult.
ult. But then you have no follow-up. So this is where the Kennen pick in that case would have been really good, because then Kalista could have ulted the Kennen, thrown him in, and then Kennen could have gotten his CC down, and you would have gotten a Summer Spell. Instead, you just wasted a
Actually-
Sejuani ultimate.
Actually, anything
Gotten
but Jenna would be fine there.
yeah, anything but Janna.
Anything but
So-
Jenna, because the Jenna is like literally self counter to the combo. That's very interesting. I've read so many times that Adrian does not have a really good champion pool. Maybe that's the reason why they picked it.
Yeah,
Because
Kennen support is relatively new to consider. I think we only saw it a couple weeks ago.
in LPL,
Oh, LPL, and I know LCK has also done it as well. I can't recall the teams which have done it. So, anyways, Impact once again trying to harass Lulu, but I mean,
he's winning.
here
the
you go,
trades.
Lulu. Yeah, he's winning the trades, but he's not getting like any marginal advantage out of it. In fact, Quas is actually up CS right now.
Yeah.
So,
So if you watch the CS, it's relatively even. I mean,
Yeah.
to lead on the top lane, it's like the jungle with the support with the support item and relic shield, and whoa, wait, that was like really huge spike there, huge burst, but
damage. Yeah, here. That was
It's impressive,
Callista's
actually.
run damage.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no, Callista
really
with
impressive.
Callista actually has a lot of damage when she picks up a BF sword. What Callistas are doing right now is that they'll usually get the BF sword component for Bloodthirster, and then they'll begin to build the Runaan's Hurricane, and they complete that first. And what that actually does is that if you build attack speed first as an AD carry, you go into this power trough where you have to commit to extended trades in order to get
Wait.
extra damage from it. It froze a little bit.
Yeah, I hope it does.
No, it's good. It's still going for me. It's still going
Yeah,
for me.
it's
So.
going for me as well. Again, if not, I have to set up the quality one tune down.
No,
So-
it's fine.
Sorry for your.
So by
guys.
going with the AD first, you're able to get the shorter trades and make them more effective, and then you can get the power of pushing the Runaan's build gives you without getting the weaknesses that going Runaan's first would typically give a Callista.
Yeah.
So it's a good adaptation.
I think it's very interesting. Okay, I'll set the quality
Quality down a bit.
one down. Sorry for that. I think it's very interesting how Impact is like really bullying away Quas. It's very interesting because that's like the only will of fight TiP is having right now. I'm not seeing they do anything. If you look at the map, you only see Team Liquid wards. Like there's nothing. They don't have any map
There's
pressure.
no
Yeah. One ward, and
And-
it's on the banana brush.
Yeah, and Rush, meanwhile, while he has completed his Cinder Hulk first, I think Quas Dominate has probably put more money down for earlier vision. He has a Sightstone. There he is. He has his Cinder
Which
Hulk
is
completed, and now
very
he has boots.
interesting.
Yeah, and now he has boots and a cloth armor. So here's his gold advantage coming in. Dominate is up 10 CS. He's scored a dragon for his team, and overall he's got more pressure down. on the map, and Rush hasn't gotten any successful ganks off. He showed up once bottom lane and then didn't do anything, and then he came topside, threw his ultimate, and then his bottom lane couldn't follow up with it.
What I think is interesting, Drake is up, TiP knows
Mhm.
it, and they are not preparing or getting anything done for it at all.
Well, Callista and Janna just back. Gnar got some vision onto it, but it looks like he's going to back.
but
Right now, here, go. Go on.
yeah, the thing again, they have no pressure at mid lane. So Team Liquid has actually a free Drake right there if the Sejuani can steal it. Like, I mean, it's hard to steal it, but if she queued and ult right in at the right point, she could have got it.
Maybe. You are up against a Nunu, though.
Yeah,
And that's a
yeah,
lot
sure.
to
But
burst at it.
actually, you don't go that risk. You don't go that risk with
Yeah,
the Sejuani
no.
ult.
No.
Actually not. But well.
You know, what you could have done in that scenario, because you do have a Ziggs, you could have thrown the Sejuani ult at the time that Dominate would want to smite and consume it. So you could CC him, and as you do that, you have the Ziggs ult go down. And then while Nunu is CC'd and can't cast his spells, then you can time your smite with the Ziggs ultimate and probably steal it that way. But that takes a lot of coordination. So anyways, here's Impact just...
But still worth a
There
try,
you go.
right? Oh.
Yeah, I think it would be worth a try. It will give TiP something, at least to counter on. But Team Liquid did a good job of getting set up for that dragon. Their bottom lane had backed before TiP's bottom lane did, and they were already moving down to the dragon side to get set up on it. The mid lane was cleared, and while TiP did read it well, there just wasn't enough members there to contest it, and they didn't even go for like a teleport play. And that's one issue with the Gnar pickup. Like, okay, like swap out Gnar for Hecarim, okay? You'd have home guards at this point. You'd have your ultimate, and you wouldn't be playing around this Gnar transformation timer. I think that had you done that, then going all in for that risk would have been fairly good on TiP's part. That said, though, they are in a bit of power trough. This Corki is doing fairly well against the Ziggs, who has itemized for an Athene's Grail, actually, right now.
Yeah.
And the Lucian is currently ahead in items against the Callista. You're still waiting for that to scale. So overall, though, given how the lanes are matching up, it's actually okay for TiP not to all in for that risk just because they are trying to scale against Team Liquid's composition. So taking that risk just for a dragon, even though it is Team Liquid's second dragon, it's okay at this point. But now what Team Liquid has is that they secured the extra tower damage for themselves, and that means that their sieging, which is already really good just from the comp, is going to be a lot more difficult to face against. So
Well, it's fine for them because they are not getting far behind in gold. So it's relatively even, so they are fine for now. So if it keeps like this for the next 10 to 15 minutes, they are totally fine with it. The thing is, though, they need to start contesting the Drakes. Like, if you watch, take a look at the items, you see the Crocker just finished the Trinity Force a few minutes ago, and the Lucian will finish at the next pack. Of course, it's Trinity Force. What I am saying, the
Infinity
Infinity
Edge.
Edge. I'm tired.
He used to build that. You're okay. No, he used to build Trinity Force. No, it's not.
I'm
It's not
old
season
school.
4. Come back to me.
I'm old school. I am traveling through time. I'm Marty McFly, so that's all fine. And doing the rhymes, right? Well, let's get back to the game.
All the time.
No, fuck, man.
you started it. I'm just going with it, man. That was pretty baller. But yeah. Anyway, so okay, TiP's actually getting some vision down.
There's an interesting item on the top lane, Lulu. Normally, you would build Athenes
no.
or Morelos, and as you can watch, Colossus is going full carry mode. He just built a Luden's Echo on the Lulu pick.
That's so stupid.
That's I don't know what he's trying to do with that. I mean,
he's built it before, and like there is some synergy with Lulu. Like the extra movement speed helps her whimsy on herself. It gives her additional wave clear, but her wave clear with Glitter Lance is already pretty good, and it does give her a lot of raw AP. But honestly, I feel like getting the Morella into Death Cap, it gives you more cooldown reduction, so you have more spells coming up. It gives you more AP with the Rabadon's passive, and ultimately, more AP on Lulu is more concerning than like having more wave clear, because you already have this Corki, you already have this Lucian. for your wave clear. So getting more raw AP would mean that your shields are bigger, your heals are bigger, and the speed boost that you give is bigger. I'm not a fan of Luden's Echo onto Lulu. I'm just not.
Same here, at least not for top lane Lulu, where she should the Lulu should focus more on the utility first. Maybe not. Maybe he can build it as a second or third item if he likes it so much, but as first item, I still prefer to Morales, so he can spam out the spells a bit more. But well, we can imagine the next Drake fight begin. To begin to be very important, and at the moment, Team Liquid should take it with ease. If
actually, right now you can see Dominate and Xpecial are all moving in right now in order to secure vision around the Drake, setting up a minute head advance.
The thing
which
is,
good.
I would just try to make a break, take a break, and look at the minimap right now. So if sadly I can just turn back this this thing here from the bar, so I have to move a bit back so I can.
No, if you're sharing the video, I think. Can't you just use your keyboard, left arrow click it? That like on YouTube it lets you jump back.
No, I don't want to jump back. I just want to get this bar down so I can watch the minimap properly.
Okay. If you want the bar down, I know what you're talking about now. Put your mouse in the middle of the screen and don't move it. It'll go away.
Okay. Tell us a joke as we wait. No.
So
but if we're
an American and a German do analysis on the League of Legends.
Please. I'm still Brazilian. I just live in Germany for too long, and I still don't speak German well. And it's not working, man. It's not YouTube. It's like the sing thing, and it seems not to work. But well, guys, I am just stepping out so you can see a bit better of the minimap because as you can see here, there are a few pings going on bot lane. They have. The mid laners are moving already. The thing is, what you can see right now, the position of Team Liquid is already really good. The thing is about TiP, they're playing really reactively, but the thing is they're reacting way too slow. It seems like Team Liquid is miles ahead because the whole team is already set up for the Drake fight. They're getting the vision down. They are getting ready to push.
They fly pressure bottom lane.
Yeah.
One thing is that Apollo and Adrian actually back before that time, and so Adrian was Apollo, was coming out of his base. Meanwhile, Impact is actually doing something really good. He's getting he's just beating the crap out of Quas right now.
Yeah,
he's forced the ultimate, so that's a big cooldown. That's a big cooldown for the fight.
That's
but one thing, he did use his own ultimate, though, so whether or not that's going to be up for the Dragon fight, and if he can get the Gnar transformation off in that fight is still going to be an important thing. And this is where, if Quas had, The
thing is that you need to think right now, if he forces Quas to back, he can take the turret. But the thing is, he didn't manage to get that. So he can try to force him back still now. Okay, forget it. He missed the W. So, he will.
And then Dominic comes up here.
Yeah. It's like
and you see right here actually. Oh no, TiP is actually moving in. I don't know why they're trying to do that. They're trying to go up there and save Impact and honestly, since Dominic showed topside.
Did you just look at the Corki? Oh,
yeah, he rotated. Yeah, he's just going to town, and so now TiP playing reactively. Okay, let's see. It's gonna be a 2-for-2, but a double kill went on the Corki. No, it's not 2-2-2. Okay, all right, Quas gets him out. Meanwhile, they trade bomb tower and middle tower. Okay.
Well, actually, it's
TiP. What TiP should have done instead is that now, right here, TiP by going topside, you've basically just forfeited this dragon. Like they instead of going topside, sending the Ziggs and the Sejuani up there, they said, "Hey, their jungler is topside. We can go now push in the dragon, establish some vision around it, and not have to deal with this new consume smite on the dragon and stop Team Liquid's dragon streak right now." Instead, they go for this reactor play. They feed Corki a double kill, get only 1 kill in return out of it, and that's because Corki dove under tower. Meanwhile, Quas and Nunu get away. TiP does get a bomb tower out of it, but Team Liquid breaks the middle tower, which gives them much more pressure to work with. And, I mean, they're already going to claim bomb tower at this point in the game. And now Team Liquid could just regroup together and move down this dragon because Piglet and Xpecial can
They
outpressure.
are already there, and Quas is TP up, so he can join anytime.
Yeah.
The thing is, they could start Drake right away, even though Jenna and Kalista are there.
Yeah,
So
like Kalista needs time to deal damage to the dragon. She doesn't have rune hands yet, so she can't trade with multiple people. Here you go, Piglet and Xpecial are gonna make sure that they go off and Piglet. Oh,
Piglet, that's
okay. He excursions. Yeah, he didn't group with Xpecial
but
like
still,
he should have, and he
they
had a ward there too. I don't know why he did that and why Xpecial went the other way.
he
Like
went
they had.
way too ballsy.
Yeah,
and
that was.
they dropped the Drake actually because
Yeah.
of that.
So now okay. So now TiP is gonna get some dragon pressure here because Piglet stupidly went in there, and Quas had to burn his teleport for that. So Piglet might have just cost Team Liquid a dragon that they should have had, thus negating all of TiP's mistakes in the top side. That said, Dominate is coming in, and he does have Flash. So,
Wow.
but TiP does have a Kalista. That is one advantage they do have in these.
They would drop. No, where's the sigil? Where's the sigil? It's still not up. Okay, that's why it's.
Yeah, it's still on cooldown, which he wasted in topside. So.
Yeah.
But ultimately, though, TiP, they do get a dragon. They do kill Nunu. That is one thing I have forgotten to look at in this game was the fact that TiP does have Kalista, so if they get on objective first, then it's really hard for Nunu to be able to steal it away from them just because Ren with Smite out damages Nunu's consumed Smite. So that's a good thing for them. Then they get a Maeve here. Quas and Phoenix rotate in to clear this up. And Phoenix, as we can see, is going for the Triforce Luden's Echo build, which... again, further negates the purpose of Lulu getting a Luden's Echo. Just why?
Well, it's so we can stop here for a moment, and you see, as the moment they misplayed the Drake fight Team Liquid.
Yeah.
They covered all the area around the pit, so they had vision at all places, so they could at any time team fight. So that's great. So the thing, what should I do now? I think they gotta secure the Drake. They need to stall this at least for 8 minutes. Then we can start thinking about fighting and outscaling. So before that, so what's their game plan? So Team Liquid will abuse the Corgi power spike now. They have the power spike now, and for the next 8 minutes they have to secure at least 1 or 2 turrets more.
Which it's easy to do. TiP is located topside pretty heavily. They got a wave in top. Team Liquid has a wave in top, and Sneaky's already, or not Sneaky. Piglet's pushing bot side. I see Lucian, I say Sneaky. Yeah. Piglet's already pushing in bottom side of the map. But Team Liquid honestly should have had that dragon. Had Piglet not mispositioned like that and gotten chunked out, I feel like Team Liquid could have gotten that dragon instead of TiP, just because they would have had a full health Piglet on their side to work with. So I feel like TiP was given a dragon, and again, like all that vision that we see, it was established as they moved in after Piglet got chunked out. So they were able to clear out all of Team Liquid's vision, which they had set up earlier on in advance, and just by the sequences of events, Team Liquid misplayed just enough to let TiP have that first dragon. But I do agree with the game plan that for TiP right now is to stall the game out using Ziggs. But the thing is, he's already lost his mid tower, so now Team Liquid's pressure is going to be exerted on the side lanes, and Ziggs can only cover one of those. And Kalista still has yet to build a Runeance Hurricane. So things aren't looking good for TiP.
But the interesting thing is that everybody's topside and Lucian's pushing bot, so everything that happens, he will get that bot turret. Because they can do anything because they're pressured down top lane by the wave and mid lane by the push, or at least not having a turret. The interesting thing is... he decides to back. Well, okay.
Well, he doesn't have any support on the bottom side. He's in enemy warded territory. He just pushed the wave into the tower. So that's
fine.
fairly smart for Piglet. Yeah.
Well, what we'll do from here is like... TiP will have to wait. They are still building the items. Ziggs has no damage at all at this point. Kalista still needs the Hurricane to be clearing that wave fast. So... they will try to stall with the Ziggs right now the longest possible. At least until the Hurricane. Okay, Hurricane's done, so that's fine now. Now they can try to out-rotate them again. The thing is, they can't fight. But they have the vision. That's I don't get it. They have the vision and they're not trying to the rotations, plays, or anything. They're
Yeah.
like just heavily farming, and the thing is, they're falling behind because of this, because they are getting out farmed. Like if you look at the CS of the bot lane, the difference is huge already. And you need to count the Nautilus as well because of the
Yeah.
relic shield.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, actually, the patch has changed so that the relic shield procs are counted into the ADC's
Really?
farm. Yeah, so it's not a 270 gold lead because actually there's like no way that at 23 minutes Piglet has 270 CS. So it's counted in there already. So the lead that we see
okay, my
here
bad.
also includes the relic products. Yeah, no, they changed that a while ago. They changed that like it's been a while. So and it was a very small change, but I remembered that one. So, but right now they're actually sending Impact into bot lane to go split push on that one, while they're kind of trying to use Kalista to protect these towers. So that's actually pretty smart usage of the Kalista to defend towers now that she has the Rune and Hurricane. Team Liquid is using Lucian in the side lanes in order to apply pressure there and try to take the towers. Now with Kalista having her Bloodthirster and Runeans, though, she'll be able to clear the waves. So this is going to let her counteract Sneaky's pushes. Meanwhile, Impact is able to go on into these side lanes which don't have turrets safely and be able to join any fights which do occur with his teleport. So this is Team TiP is finally showing some smarter positioning with their players. And it looks like Rush is actually going to try for a play right here. Using this power spike, you can see how devastating the Kalista Hurricane Clear is. Lucian simply can't keep up with it, even with the static shiv. Now they're grouping top side, trying to get pressure down on this tower. And Team Liquid is instantly rotating on over. Tower goes down, they're picking the fight.
It's actually well.
Teleport coming on in from Quas. Impact. Let's see.
Well,
No, excuse me, it came from Impact. Quas to teleport.
the,
Quas to teleport is still down. This is actually really good by Team Impulse.
Well, it was, in my opinion, even better play by Liquid because they simply
Yeah,
baited
they're winning.
them well.
They're winning.
They
Yeah.
simply baited out them well, like, come at us, we got this here. They delayed the tower as long as they could, and didn't lose any members, and that should be the bearer for them.
Yeah, so TiP really overextended. The TP was good,
The
but
dive on the
then-
show.
yeah, and now he forced it. And then Quas is like, this is why I build Luden's extra damage, yo. Okay, kid. So
Like that
now, yeah,
swag.
this is a... Yeah, Kalista, meanwhile, is mid lane. Where was Kalista in that whole... She was topside. Where the... Okay.
Yeah, she was
She-
outside,
she-
she
She bailed out.
Yeah. Got away and got a nice turret at least. It's something, and he did definitely the right thing. The thing
Yeah.
is, the fourth Drake is coming up, and well, Team Impulse can contest it, and it's already about 4k gold lead, and it's
Team
kind of out of
Liquid, yeah.
control for Team Impulse. So the thing
Yeah,
is,
so
if-
looking at this fight again, fairly okay,
so
but
wait,
Phoenix
I'm
immediately comes
I'm
on
gonna we're
back and slow it down.
yeah, that's basically
Yeah, I want to look at this one. Because Quas, yeah, his teleport was still down, so that's good job of TiP keeping teleport timers on him, just so that, hey, he doesn't have teleport, so we can make a play up here. And I want to see why it goes wrong. So they go for this, Colin goes down.
Wait, we're gonna okay,
But-
I can't slow down. All right. We should it's hard to use not YouTube on something like this. Can I slow down here? No, I'm sorry, but
Nope.
we can slow down. So all right, so we're
It's fine.
gonna try to narrate it as it goes. So
All right, so
what they do first, they clear the wave. All right, wave is getting cleared. Sejuani just go for the turret, which is totally right. Piglet's just spamming in the culling,
Cool.
while the Apollo is getting already picked off by Xpecial with his ultimate. So the thing is, right now the fight is getting already started before everybody's there. But the thing is, again, Team Impulse is not reacting well. Team Liquid, whole team is already on the way.
yeah,
and
and Quas is
almost
actually
there.
already on the way there. He backed in lane and he's already on the
if
way.
If you look at the red buff, you see that the Nuru
Corki and
and the
Nunu.
Corki are already almost there. So at the point the Nautilus CC is off Apollo, the team's already there. So the thing is, it's again very slow reaction by Team Impulse. And really good, well played by Team Liquid, like especially slowing down. Now TP is there, but the thing is, he should already TP'd to the fight, because he saw them a bit ago, because I think they had a ward at any point, or
Yeah,
anyways
no,
they,
this is actually a fairly late teleport. He could have teleported onto a main as it was taking tower aggro, made it
and
invulnerable.
well, we need to
And then
say,
he could have been here to combo with all dive. I think he was waiting for his Nard transformation, but he's already transformed actually.
yeah, I think that's very 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 weird teleport. Like, it's very bad timing, not only for the fight itself. The teleport is very very late. The Sejuani ult was fine, but still, the thing is, Apollo is already almost dead. So at the point in time, he could have done damage, which would be right now. He's already
zoned out.
Off the fight. So
Yeah, Phoenix
it's
is gonna
a
get some
very,
poke in.
very very basic
And
easy,
then
easy fight again for clean
yeah.
to clean up there.
And then
Just-
Xiao Xiao finally arrives. Xiao Xiao was also late,
Yeah,
so
way
that
too
just
late. So it was a very very basic and easy fight for Team Liquid to play off, because there was simply no threat at all, because the whole team, half of the team was in the fight. So yeah, let's look at the item builds. I think they're pretty standard. Which is interesting is the Ziggs Herald on the Nunu.
well, you're working with a double 80 composition, so it's going to help out Lucian and
Well,
Corki's damage,
why?
even though Corki's building
He's-
AP. Let's look.
I don't think it would benefit that much to be really useful to build it. What would I have seen more? What could have been better?
It gives him health, it gives him cooldown, it gives him some attack damage, some lifesteal, so those are kind of wasted stats. What else does it
Banner
give?
of Command would be actually nice.
No, excuse me. Yeah, no. It gives the health, it gives the cooldown, and then it's going to give Corki and Lucian an extra 20 AD and extra 10% lifesteal. So that's actually
actually okay, but
it helps. It helps.
it helps.
And it's actually incredibly gold efficient. What else could have been there? Maybe, let's see. Looking at TiP's comp, you could go for a Frozen Heart, which
Yeah.
it looks like Dominate's working towards, just to shut down the Callista even harder. But
And
it looks
no,
like
of
that all
course.
the Dominate really wants to do
That
actually is
helps.
because his team is ahead.
That's
It's
again
really
a
good
very very well played fight by Team Liquid. They zone out the right targets at the right time and could
Yeah.
just get a free kill. So there's literally a snowball, and
Yeah.
there's nothing much TiP can do here. They should have
No.
let him get the turret at all.
Yeah,
That's basically it.
exactly.
And the thing is, what I'm missing, they could have go for a banner of command actually, because they have the long range poke, they have the siege. With a banner of command, they could even push harder, or even side split push with
Yeah.
that. So they could have abused it a lot more, because they have this strong comp for sieging and poking.
Yeah.
Um,
Only thing with the Banner Commando is that there's only one AP damage threat coming out of TiP, and since Banner of Command has the same passive as the Locket of the Iron Solari, where there's kind of a minimal magic damage coming out of TiP's side, so kind of wasting it. I think that Team Liquid chose the Ziggs Herald just to facilitate their own pushing by giving an extra 40 AD to between the Corki and the Lucian to further enhance the Triforce procs from Corki, the extra damage coming in from Lucian, and that gave them extra sustain in the fight, especially since Corki is itemizing for AP. So I think that's the reasoning behind the Ziggs
So I
Herald. I
think-
do agree. Banner Command would be really good, and it would basically stop Ziggs from clearing out the waves.
basically it. I think the Ziggs Hero, since it's not that built often, I think that's the adaptation to the more AD focused damage on TiP. I think
Well-
this would be the only reason, because they are trying to achieve the same as with a Banner of Command, but only with Ziggs Herald, which is weird and seems to be working at the same time.
Well, Team Liquid also is really far ahead. They have an 8,000 gold lead, and so far, TiP's team fighting has been worse than Team Liquid. So I think at this point, it's kind of just like a whatever sort of a thing for Team Liquid.
Yeah. Well, it's like at this point, it's basically over if you think that
Yeah.
way. It's like if they can, they won't be able to stand if they go for fights at this point. So if they will need to wait until which item do they need? I don't think it's a frozen
Callista's
heart.
already got.
But the
Let's see.
Callista's
Callista has
ready.
Last Whisper.
All
Yeah.
they need is wait Baron out and fight on the
Baron's
turret.
already gone.
Fight on the turret maybe. Like
Yeah, but there's like.
good combo.
Let's see.
What the problem is again they don't have any burst. So
Yeah, there's not enough burst coming from TiP side. Team Liquid again has a massive gold lead. Lucian is in a very good spot. He just picked up QSS for himself, so now it's going to be even harder to CC stun him up. And so far, the Janet pick isn't doing a whole lot. 0-1 and 2 just doesn't complement this team really at
the
all.
same goes for the Ziggs pick. It's not
Mhm.
working at all.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't really think there's a barring Team Liquid having some kind of massive throw and like getting really mispositioned and TiP just punishing them for it. I don't think there's any way for them to get a foothold in this game. Team Liquid's already setting up some Baron control. Lucian's picking up Krugs for himself. He's going to get all his top point farm, make sure this lane's pushed in. And TiP's bottom inhibitor is also gone. So they're going to have to deal with the minions in that lane farthest away from Baron. So Team Liquid is in a really good spot just to keep pressure on all lanes, take another free Baron, siege up again, and just close it out.
Again, what's very interesting, both teams have no ward coverage. The only thing difference that Team Liquid clears is clearing their wards of Team Impulse. Of course, they can contest them simply because they are so far behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the vision of Team Liquid is right now only around the Baron pit because he set it up now. So they will be try to get the Baron because it's very hard.
Yeah, well, they only need vision. Well, they only need vision down there. There's no reason
Yeah.
to go into the red side jungle of TiP. You're not looking for picks there. You don't want to siege at the mid lane on that side just yet. You know that Impact's going to be down there anyway, so establishing vision over the blue buff and the Baron area because it's the next objective coming up right now. I think that this is a smart focus from them.
Yeah.
Oh, this calling. Oh my jeez. This is
so far ahead.
Yeah, he is so far ahead. If you look at his build, actually, okay, so Sejuani is lacking armor. She decided to pick up the Lock of the Iron Solari to deal with the Corki burst coming out. So she doesn't have any armor on her at all to deal with this Lucian, who already has Infinity Edge and Static Shift and Blade the Rune King. The reason this is a build that we're seeing commonly on Lucian in this current tank meta. Lucian with his passive is able to proc the current health damage burn. Well, it's not a burn. The current health damage of Blade the Rune King twice using his passive. So we're seeing this transition in Lucian's build away from the Bloodthirster to the Blade the Rune King to help him better deal with these tankier team opponents, which he'll be dealing with. So it's a fairly smart build. It's a good one, and it's honestly improved his scaling in the current meta, and it's why we're seeing Lucian a little more right now. His synergy with the item is pretty good. And oh my gosh, look at that damage.
Also, it is the scaling race, as I like to call it, because it's Lucian is not worse than Graves simply because he might be a bit weaker in the early game, but still he.
Yeah. Okay, Piglet. Okay, Piglet.
Is just going
Calm down, buddy.
He's just like the white turtle.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh,
He's got a little worse positioning sometimes.
This was the siege for Team
Yeah.
Liquid. Bench Piglet.
And here you go. Here's look how fast he's life stealing as well with just Blade the Root Wing King. The Zeke's Herald giving extra.
Yeah.
Here's the thing too. The Zeke's Herald is giving him pretty much the same amount of life steal that a Bloodthirster would actually give him. 20% total. The 10 are so percent coming in from Blade the Rune King, and the 10% from Zeke's Herald. So he's able to sustain really well in these fights. So there's an extra argument or point in the argument for the Zeke's Herald pickup. I think it's okay in this context. There's probably better, but I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
But at this point, yeah, Team Liquid is just there's no armor on the side of TiP except for on the Gnar, and all sneaky or not sneaky. There I go again. Piglet has to do is ignore Impact in these fights. He's gonna have his team to get him off of him. Impact is not doing a whole lot to get to the back line. He doesn't have a lot of assistance to get to the back line. So Piglet's just able to exert all kinds of pressure.
And the thing again is like the lead is way too high already.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is just a gold lead playing out. Team Liquid sieging with Baron. They're pinging Dragon right now.
They're playing completely fine. They have totally control of the map and the waves. The thing is, Corky
Okay, so
based, and that
Corky and Nunu both based.
yeah.
So and the Dominator just went down. I didn't see if Dominator got poked out or not, but they basically just gave up that dragon. They could have rotated on over after getting that pressure.
Well, I think they would bait them to the fight actually.
Oh,
Because,
Dominate flash.
simply because they will win the series if they win the fight. So and it's
Yeah.
pretty easy going fight. We can look at it again
Yeah.
because it's a game actually after this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So here we go.
Let's take a closer look at it. So
Yeah.
it's alright. At this
TiP,
point,
yeah,
we have the jungler and the mid laner backing off. So it's already a free Drake. So a basic call. The thing is, wait, 3 of them didn't back, and we have only vision of Nautilus. My spidey sense says no Drake for us. Definitely no Drake for us. But the thing is, they need to contest it. You can give the 4th Drake to Team
Yeah,
Liquid
it's
right now. It's like they can TiP can only lose. All they can do is like pick some make some magical play.
Yeah.
So
Taking this risk to get the Drake and stopping Team Liquid from picking up a 4th one so they can threaten with a 5 dragon, it's basically like the one good call to make, because you're not going to get an opportunity like this to take this dragon again in the next couple of minutes. So trying to rush it, I feel like, is smart. However, it does get them clustered up, and Nunu, Dominate, and Phoenix will arrive at time.
It feels like the right decision. But look at it. You see now they showed up mid lane. You see the top laner and the AD carry mid lane. So, first of all, you ask, where's the support now? The both two, they backed. So, I wouldn't rush it anymore, to be honest. I would just turn and go all in mid lane, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, because you got a vision of where they are, and then you could just turn on them.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree with that, actually, because right now they're missing 2 of their key players.
They are like really tunneling on the Drake, and it will be their death because the thing, if you watch now, okay, now they know where Nautilus is. So okay, now everybody knows they're going for Drake. So and they still started. So everybody is moving in time. Nautilus is already there. Nautilus can handle them for a bit. So okay.
Yeah, Impact's trying to zone off, but he's gonna get chunked.
Yeah. So the mid lane at the Lulu and the Lucian are already there. You can already see the Nunu and the Corky. So the thing is, let's look at the ultimates. Everybody has ultimates. Everybody has summoners up, right? Yeah. No, Culling and the Lucian Flash are down. Okay, that doesn't matter at all.
No.
Because they have actually the better positioning. Impact is zoned off from the team, especially between them, so that he can stop everything. He can just simply engage on Adrian. So, but Adrian Xiao are already moving back. Impact, instead of moving back from anywhere else, and I think he still has to jump up, so he could have go through the jungle wall. He is still going for the fight because they need to fight this. Okay, now it's over for Team Impulse, simply because I don't know how Expression managed to get the free ultimate on Apollo right there. They should have stopped him right away.
Yeah, nobody zoned him. Nobody turned. They just focused on killing the Drake, like you were saying.
Right, and Rush and Impact are already a bit chunked down. Apollo won't do anything this fight because of the Nautilus ultimate. Corky is almost in range for the Valkyrie shot, so he can like literally
get into the fight, and there's just
burst Xiao or Adrian. He can't even choose, because they are free for him, and Nunu is already in range as well for a flash. So it's like, okay, we go again. Good ultimate by Xiao forcing special back and every other back, but as mentioned before, Phoenix is there. Adrian will be chunked down, and Apollo will do nothing. Dominates just flashed ult, and it's over right there because they can't do anything because they just like literally cluster forced him into the Drake pit, and well, still nice try to escape, but it's late. They can clean up. They have to lead.
If the call was going to be focusing all on the Drake and just focusing on that and not getting the team fight, what TiP could have done is grouped into the pit, get in the very back of it, and then they could have all jumped out. Gnar has a jump that he could have used. Sejuani has a jump. Ziggs could have ulted himself, or not ulted. He could have satcheled himself out. Callista could have either used Flash or Q hop backwards over the wall and then ulted Janna to get him out. And they could have all made a clean escape through the back of the pit and
Yeah,
avoided
that
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 fight.
would that would be possible. But well,
But
that's
yeah,
it.
they didn't think of that option, and they chose instead of going for either a 5v3 while they had the opportunity, they all tunnel on the dragon, and then they didn't think, okay, we have to escape. How are we going to get out of this dragon pit? So they cleaned it up. Overall, Team Liquid played really well as a team. There was a lot. They moved together really well as a team. TiP seemed to lag behind in a lot of cases. Xiao was out of position several times. Rush just didn't have any early game pressure, which he needed to do against the Nunu. While Dominant instead got all of it, got the vision down. He was securing the objectives for his team, which shows in the 2 Barons that he got and the 4 Dragons, as well as the farm lead. And then Piglet was able to do his job pretty much of being a pushing down the lanes, and TiP wasn't able to successfully stall the game out and scale like they needed to. Ultimately, I felt like the Ziggs was a pretty bad pick in this particular case. There would have been a lot of better picks that could have been played against the Corki. I think that, and the Janna. I also don't agree with the Janna pick. Swap those 2 picks out, get in a more assassin aggressive mid laner who can threaten Team Liquid's back line, as well as get in an engaged support like the Kennen. The Kalista Kennen combo is really good, and it would have been a great pickup in this case, just to complement all the hard engage that TiP already had. So that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I can only agree, and I think it was a very, very well played game by Team Liquid. And in my opinion, already lost for TiP in the pick and ban phase, because they had no threat to deal with Team Liquid comp, and yeah, it was just they didn't adapt or try to do anything. They just played it out as we expected from the pick and ban phase. So yeah, that's how we break the curse, guys. And yeah, if we closing out the game, I think looking into the next split, TiP has a long way to go. They have to work a lot on their pick and ban phase, as I think it's their biggest weakness right now. I think Impact is playing out of his mind.
Impact was really good.
He tried to solo carry, but he couldn't kill them because he was the only person on his team doing any kind of pressure on the map.
Well, also Apollo, he was trading really well against Piglet and X-Special in the losing lane. Apollo and Adrian were doing particularly well, but no advantages were really capitalized on that. I felt like Rush didn't get the pressure that he needed to take those advantages of the plays that were happening in his side lanes. And then Xiao just did absolutely like nothing in this game. I feel like the Ziggs pick kind of condemned him to do nothing, and it let Phoenix just completely bullying him out with the Corki pick. So that's my read on the game itself. TiP though did get to go pretty far in the playoffs. Actually, again, this was a 3rd place game, so they ended in 4th, which for a team composed of players who have like 3 different main languages that just got together this split is pretty good, actually. Team Liquid, though, I think they are having these moments where they come into their own of what people expected from them, with Dominate with his incredible jungle pressure, Piglet with his just great mechanics in play, X-Special with his playmaking ability and his just incredible range of pools, and vision control with Dominate, Quas with his endless versatility, and then Phoenix also having a really good champion pool and filling in various roles for his team. So I feel like Team Liquid is hitting their strides in moments, which is kind of like, like the difference in Team Liquid, who 3-0'd CLG, and then like the first 2 games against Cloud9, and then the subsequent 3 games where they got reverse swept. There's a very big difference in Team Liquid there. And I think that going in the next split, as long as they can continue to adapt their pick and bans, which we saw in this game incredibly well, as well as just like the team play and map movements, if they do that, they will definitely continue to be a top 3 team in NA, perhaps to overtake Cloud9 next split, barring any roster changes or incredible improvements on Cloud9's roster.
Yeah, I can only agree, and I think time will benefit Team Liquid a lot.
Time in
And
Hawaii will definitely benefit
yeah,
Liquid
oh
because they get to
no,
go there now, not ending fourth.
I didn't want to mention that, but Hawaii is like a really cool bonus. But yeah, definitely, it will work out as well. So yeah, Colin, thanks for joining me for this analysis breakdown of the game. It was a pleasure to work with you on this video. It was a test review analysis video. We're doing this for the first time
Yeah,
with the
actually.
setup. Well, I can only thank you for coming and you for washing.
Mhm.
Thank, thanks. I,
I play cleanup, yo. No, no. No, what was the joke that my brother made? Oh, okay, no, so I had this thing. So I watched Hungry Box. So I watched some Smash Bros. The other night, and Hungry Box got 3 reverse swept, kind of like Team Liquid did in the LOL series against Cloud9. And I said, so if we call, can we call this new Liquid thing where they start up 2-0 in a best of 5 and they get reverse swept in it? Can we call that Liquid knees? Because they just, kind of fall out there. They get a little shaky up there and nervous. And my brother said we could just call it getting mopped up.
oh God.
My brother's he's hilarious. So, but anyways, regardless of all these puns and jokes or whatever we want to call them, it was a pleasure working with you too, Alex. This was a lot of fun,
Yeah,
and I'll definitely do some more videos like this in the
yeah,
future.
we
So,
we should, but we have to look at the times, man. It's fucking 2 in the morning.
yeah, for you, it's only like 5 o'clock for me. Yeah,
You
I got the
see,
rest of the day to do.
you see, I really like you, man. The bromance is real.
The bromance is like, I stayed up to 2 in the morning for you if this was your idea.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So guys, thanks for watching. If you didn't check it out, CD Mangakas or Colin's work, take a look at the description right now and check out his Twitter and follow him. Give him some love and look at through all his articles. They are all great. And if you still didn't have enough of his articles or his content, just check out his YouTube channel where he has also a very cool and a lot of different videos you can watch. So if you don't want to miss out on my next content, be sure to subscribe and check out my social media stuff. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share your feedback in the comments down below. I think we see us on the next time. Colin, it is a time where you can do any shout outs if you want to mention anyone.
Thanks to Ryan Tang, the Go Pretend site director, who gave me a lot of support coming into this. He's been really helpful to all these endeavors. Thanks to Alex, DrPuppet, and Triforce Gaming for having me come on as part of their staff. Working with them is always great. It's been a blast so far. Again, you can check out my YouTube channel. It's CD Mangaka. My Twitter is CD_Mangaka. You'll find a picture of me with my headset. I post there fairly regularly. And I'm going to be picking up on some more analytical works with YouTube. Shout out to Liquid Legends as well for picking me up as a writer and giving me so many resources to work with. It's been a pleasure there. And esportgo.com for picking me up fairly recently. Looking forward to working with them in the future as well. So thanks for everything, guys.
So guys, we see us on the next video. Bye bye. Adios, amigos.